moral of the story is, and the moral of the story is, till your arms fall off, till your abs get hard, and your moral of the story is, till your hands go numb and they cramp and the fans in the stands go the story is, right till my fingers look like a bouquet of roses. You gotta bring yourself.
My favorite part of a live show is just the passion and energy that you get from the crowd. And I used to play all these college gigs where I was doing spoken word poetry and I was playing an hour of just slam for crowds. And it was just a seated audience and they were listening politely and clapping and laughing at certain points. But now with the band and the full collaboration and the lights, it's just a totally different energy experience. And I love it because I grew up going to concerts. And that experience, I mean, for me, it's like a church experience. It's the closest thing I have to going to church. And I'm able to let go of like most of my neuroses and stuff. And I'm way shyer in person than I am on stage. I love just going and feeling free and just exchanging that energy with the crowd. So yeah, it's collaboration, it's exchange of energy. I love it all. There's a fine line between just bending to the will of what other people want, and between that and putting out what you really want to do, because I think that sometimes you can't listen to the chatter of everyone. You have to have conviction in the kind of work that you want to put out and put it out because that's what you want to create as an artist. And sometimes people don't know what they want until you give it to them. So there's that, and then there's the other side, which is you can't be so blinded by ego that you think that you're the best artist that you can possibly be and never learn how to get better. So I do try my best to balance those two things, and it's a bit of a push and a pull. In terms of my own personal life, I'm trying my best to be as open as I can and get closer to that with every album. There's at least a few tracks on this album that are things that I never shared with other people in the past. And like, for instance, I have this song Going Down that's about like sexuality and exploring yourself and like male questioning of identity. And that's stuff that I haven't even really done a lot with my friends either. So I'm trying my best to just be an open book, but definitely getting towards that is just a step-by-step process. I guess I just like the fact that you can come together with different people who are better than you at that thing and create something that couldn't have been as good without the input of that person. And that's sort of what all of my collaborative processes are like, because if you come and see my show, you realize I'm surrounded by musicians on stage that are more talented than me, and I love that. I love that Camila, who sings for me, is way more of a beast than I could ever possibly be, and Cootie is the best drummer that I know, and Pat is a great guitarist, and Koosh, who produced Cardboard Castles and Times Infinity, can create chord structures like I could never possibly do. And recognizing what my own shortcomings are, I think is really important to try and create good work. And I love that you can't make a film, you can't make an album, you can't make a music video or a concert without bringing together these different talents and then creating something that is greater than the sum of its parts. I spent a long time not having any fans at all, so I'm super grateful to have people who follow my music. And when I go to shows, and this tour in particular, as in the past, we would play a few songs that people would get really excited about. Like Sloppy Seconds was a fan favorite that we'd always get a little buzz from the crowd when we started playing that. But on this tour, and it's been about a year and a half since I toured really hardcore, every song that we play is like people get excited for it, and it feels like, wow, material is really baked in to people, and certain albums have had more time to gel with folks and for them to establish relationships with songs, and it's really gratifying. And I do some spoken word poems in my set where people know every line and are reciting them with me, and that's a pretty crazy feeling. I try not to judge myself and my situation by what my fantasy would be too much anymore. I used to think a lot about where I wanted to be and try and push towards that, and I'm trying more in my life to just be happy with what I'm doing at the present moment. And when I look around and see I'm in a tour bus with my best friends and playing music to occasionally sold out shows of people who know all the lyrics of my songs. I couldn't have asked for more than that when I was 15.
Work. Like. Work. Moral of the story is work. Like. Work. Moral of the story is work. Till your arms fall off, till your abs get hard, and your moral of the story